Good morning, everybody. Welcome to Creating Cards with Debbie. Hold on a second. I need to add something here. There we go. All right. I want to welcome you here today. I did a video yesterday, but it was messing up on me, so I'm going to do a repeat of it today, and hopefully no problems. Cross our fingers. So, like I said, I'm creating cards with Debbie, and you are either watching on YouTube or on Facebook. And I'd appreciate it if you liked and shared the video. And as you see in the corner there on the left-hand side, it has a like and a subscribe button. Go ahead and click on that subscribe button and you'll be notified when I go live. And also click the like button. That kind of helps bring more viewers to my program. All right, let's get back to our introductions. My name is Debbie Foster, and I'm an independent Stampin' Up! Demonstrator. I'm located in Bismarck, Arkansas, and I am a independent Stampin' Up! Demonstrator. And you can also shop any products that I'm showing today. And I'm going to bring that up. Well, that worked. Okay. You can shop with me any of the items that I'm showing today or any paper products that you might be in need of. And it is www.debbiefoster.stampinup.net. And I'm going to go ahead and go into our housekeeping items. And our first one is going to be our paper pumpkin kit for the month of April. It says Lakeside Retreat. Let me take that ticker thing off of there so you can see it better. There we go. It's Lakeside Retreat. You have until April 10th to subscribe to this. So that's today. And it says, show your appreciation for the men in your life with cards inspired by tranquil waterside scenes. It makes 9 cards, 3 each of 3 designs with 9 coordinating envelopes, pre-cut paper pieces. I was just making sure my mute button wasn't on, so hopefully you can hear me. Be sure you comment when you come on. Let me know you're here. All right, makes 9 cards, 3 each of 3 designs with 9 coordinating envelopes, pre-cut paper pieces and enamel pebble embellishments, stamp set tailored to male recipients, which we never have enough man cards. The Stampin' Spot that you'll get with this is one of our new in colors that's coming out next month in May. It is called Peaceful Pine. And this also coordinates with the Waterside Retreat Suite Collection. And that item number for that is 167932. Okay, and along with the paper pumpkin kits for April, May, and June, you can add on the coordinating dies. And these are called Beautiful Blooms dies. And look at all those dies that you get. There's one for April and May and June. And the item number for that is item number I don't have on here. But it is $13. Oh, here it is. $13. And the item number is 168665. But you got to be a Paper Pumpkin subscriber in order to get this. So if you signed up for the April one, you could add this to it. All right. And then next we have the product of the month for April is Eyelet Blooms. It's a die. And what this is, when your order reaches $75, you can add this onto your order for only $5. And that's before tax and shipping and everything. And these are while supplies last. It says Eyelet Blooms dies bring soft stitch texture to any card. Craft sweet lace-like layers in seconds. And I've got mine on order and I'm waiting for it to come. I'm anxiously awaiting it. So hopefully it gets here soon. Anxious to play with it. All right. And don't forget about our last chance products that are in my store. These are while supplies last. And some of them are discounted. So you might want to stock up on things that you might need, like ribbons and such. All right, so I think that takes care of all of the items for today that we need to talk about, except we also need to talk about getting your starter kit. And The website is on my screen right now, or it's also is in the description of the video. What this is, you get your starter kit from Stampin' Up. It costs you $99, and that's free shipping. And you are able to pick out $125 worth of products, so you're getting a little extra for your money. That's a good deal. So you might want to check that out if you've got a large order. And okay, and I'm going to change cameras here, and we're going to go ahead and get started. Like I said, these were our projects that I had yesterday, and my camera was messing up on me, so I wasn't able to finish it. So I'm going to do a redo today. So hopefully this one goes good. All right, and like I said, like and subscribe to my YouTube channel. And I'm going to take that off. Let me find the button for it. All right, that gives us more room here. All right, so our first card, let me grab that out of here. I'm going to be using the Cutest Crew bundle. My lighting isn't real good today. I've still got to work on my lighting, I guess. It's not quite where I want it to be. It seems like there's a lot of shadows or something. Okay, Cutest Crew. And we're going to be using the birds today and the sentiment that says, "So glad we're friends." And here are the dies that go along with that. But I'm not going to be using the dies on this one today, just the stamp set. So I don't need the dies. Here's our card. So glad we're friends. Let me move my pointer out of the way there. And I'm going to bring up my comments again. All right, so glad we're friends. Cute little birds. And then on the inside, I'm always here for you. Or I'm here for you always. So you could switch them around. Could have it always, I'm here for you. Or like I did, I'm here for you always. And then we got little bird prints going up the side. All right, so let's go ahead and get our things out here and we'll get started. I'm going to start out with, oops, I need my instructions and I don't have them. Well, I have misplaced them, but it's kind of generalized. I think I know. I might have put them up here. Yeah, okay, I found him. I had just put him somewhere else. I'm going to start out with our card base, which is our pretty peacock, and it measures 5.5 inches by 8.5 inches, and then it's scored at 4 1/4 inches. So we're just going to fold that and burnish that fold line with our bone folder. And we're going to go landscape orientation. And then next we have basic white, which is 4 inches by 5 1/4 inches. And I'm going to bring my paper trimmer over here because we're going to put some score lines on here. And I'm going to score on each edge at 1/4 inch and 1/2 inch. So let's go ahead and do that. 1/4. Make sure you don't use your cutting blade. And scooch that up to 1/2. And like I said, I'm going to do all 4 sides. Well, I didn't even say what the date was. Today is Friday, April 10th, 2026. And I know I usually do my videos on Thursdays, but being I had problems yesterday, it got changed to a Friday. So, but my normal day is Thursdays. And another 1/4 inch. And 1/2 inch. And we'll turn it to our last side here, 1/4 inch. You could use either your paper trimmer score, or you could use your score pal, I think it's called, or any kind of scoring platform that you use to do this with. Okay, set that back out of the way. And you can kind of see the score lines. And we're not folding these back or anything. We're just going to leave them as they are. And I'm going to grab my birds. Let me bring all my stamps over here that we're going to be using. That's for the inside, our little feet. And our inside sentiment and our outside sentiments. So we're going to use just our black Memento ink. And I'm going to stamp our birds right in the center of those score lines. And I'll stamp the sentiment, "So glad we're friends," just right underneath them. And I'll save those for when I get to the inside. I'm going to grab my Stampin' Blends. Alright, that should be these. Alright, we've got Pretty Peacock, Pretty in Pink, Petunia Pop, and the Light Peach Pie. I'm going to start out with the Light Peach Pie. I'm going to do my beaks of my birds first. And then I'm going to come in with my Pretty in Pink. We're going to do this bird on the left. And I'm going to start with my light Pretty in Pink. And we just color the whole bird with that. And then I'm going to come back in with the dark Pretty in Pink and do just his wing, or her wing. And the dark Pretty in Pink. Go over that wing again to give it a little shadowing. And then we're going to do our Pretty Peacock for the middle bird. And again, I'm going to start with the light. I'm going to do his wing and his tail feathers with the dark Pretty Peacock. It's quiet today. I'm going to go ahead with the dark Pretty Peacock, and I'm going to color our grass a little bit. And next we're going to do the Petunia Pops. I'm going to do the light colored first. When you come on, be sure that you comment and kind of say where you're watching me from. It's fun to see where everybody is. I'm in Arkansas. It's fun to see where everybody else is watching me from. All right, so here we have our finished birds. And I'm going to go ahead and attach that to our card front. And I'm using my combo glue. And my bottle's getting down to the end, but I got a new one standing by in case we need to open a new one, which may be real soon. Shaking it down there a little bit. All right, and I'll leave a small edge going all around it. And I'm going to pick up the blends and get them out of my way to start with. And then I'm going to add some gems to that. We're going to be using the faceted snowflakes. These are on the last chance place. And they were $10. They're marked down to $9 now. So these are while supplies last. So if you want to grab them soon before they are all gone. And I'm going to grab my take your pick tool here. And we're going to grab off these are pretty peacock color. Yeah, got one that's loose right there. I'm going to grab that one and put a large one and a small one and another large one down in this corner. That's all the bling that we're going to give it. All right, now we're going to work on the inside. The inside is our basic white also. It's 4 inches by 5 1/4 inches. And we're going to stamp our sentiments, again, using our black Memento ink. And I'm going to start with the I'm Here For You up in the corner, upper left-hand corner. I'm here for you always. And okay. These two sentiments came from another stamp set that is called Prayers and Promises. This one here. So it's I'm here for you, and then always Prayers and Promises. And that's also in the description of the video if you want to find that. All right, and then we're going to take our bird footprints and we're going to stamp up the side. I'm kind of alternating him a little bit. He's kind of walking crooked. Close that up. I'm always getting ink on my fingers, but I guess that's part of being a stamper. Okay, for anybody that's local here in my area, I'm going to do a scrapbooking class where we put a scrapbooking kit together, and I'll have it at my house. So if you're in the area and would like to come, reach out to me and I'll give you all the details on it. I haven't set exact date in May yet. We're kind of throwing out some dates there to find out what works best for everybody. But you're very welcome to come if you are able to. All right, so here's our first card. So glad we're friends. I'm here for you always. All right. So it looks like our video is doing better today than it did yesterday. I'm hoping it hangs in there and doesn't give me any fits. All right, next we have this one here, Thinking of You. And I did get halfway done with that yesterday, but we're going to start all over with it. So you can see it from the beginning if you missed yesterday. I'll probably go back in and delete that video anyway, so I won't be up very long. All right. Thinking of you and keeping you in my thoughts, holding you in my heart, remembering you in my prayers. So it's a little bit of fun fold. And this is going to come from, let me get the stamp sets out here that we're going to be using. Okay, I've got quite a few in here that I'm using. Let me just bring them all out here. Oops. We're going to be using Prayers and Promises, Forever Florals, our Lasting Linen, which this is in our Last Chance area. Now I check that out. Simply Beautiful bundle, which this are the dies that go with it. All right. Set those aside for a moment. Get my instructions turned around here so I can see them. So, all right, I'm going to start out with our card base, which is going to measure 5.5 inches by 8.5 inches, and this is our Secret C. And I scored it at 4 1/4 inches and 2 1/8 inches. So I'm going to go ahead and fold that over, get our center fold, burnish that edge, and then I'm going to fold this back on itself. And I'm going to open that up so I can give it a good burnish. So it's going to be sort of like a Z fold, I guess is what you'd call it. All right, and we're going to set that aside. And then next we have our Designer Series paper, which I am using this pattern that comes from the Beautiful Gallery 6x6. And it's got different patterns in here. Pretty well used up mine. I don't have a whole lot left. And then also we have our embossing folder, which is called Lazy Daisy 3D embossing folder. And I've embossed a little piece of white. You kind of see, isn't that cute? I love that. Lazy Daisy 3D embossing folder. And that's an online exclusive. You'll find it in the onlines. And this measures 2 inches by 5 1/4 inches. That's going to go onto our front panel here. And the Designer Series paper measures 4 inches by 5 1/4 inches. That's going to go on the inside. So we're going to go ahead and attach those together. And bring our glue back over here. I might have to open that other bottle so I don't have to keep shaking. I think that's what I'm going to do. So I've got a brand new bottle here. We won't have to fight shaking it to get the glue to come out. Now I got to be careful it doesn't come out too fast. So a little goes a long ways. And we'll attach that to the inside. And my husband went to town this morning to do some errands. He asked if I wanted to go with. And I said, no, I'm going to do it live. So he's retired and we spend a lot of time together. So sometimes it's good to be apart. Know what I mean? All right. And then this layer that's been embossed is going to go onto this little flap here, this Z flap. And attach that. I want to make sure that they line up, so I'm going to hold it together and put it down so I can see where the other one is at to match them up. Yeah, I think that's good right there. Press it down good. All right, that's the start of our card. But next we have another Secret C, and this measures 3 1/4 inches by 4 3/8 inches. And then I've got a layer of basic white that measures 3 1/8 inch by 4 1/4 inch. That's going to sit on top of there. But first I'm going to bring my stamp positioner tool over here, and we're going to stamp the Lasting Linen stamp onto that using our cloud cover. Okay, our stamp positioner tool is going to be available in our next catalog next month, May 5th. So we're all excited about that. It works really good. It doesn't have the lift up plate, but it's got like a spring action So that's good. And I'm going to place my layer of basic white down. And I'm going to ink up my plate, my image with our cloud cover. And we can grab that. And you can't see me here. Got a limited space here that we've got a good view of. So I'm going to just ink up that stamp, our cloud cover. And I don't have to do the whole thing, but I'm doing it so I can see that it's covered okay. All right, close that pad up. And we'll bring this back over into sight. And we're going to place those knobs at the top. And we've got our spring-loaded feet right here. So I'm going to press down on that. And I'm going to give it a good rub so it transfers really good. And there we have it. Let me move this out of the way. It also has a small one here too, which has a spring-loaded feet on that too. And that's for the top edge of it. We'll demonstrate that another time. Okay, so here's our layer that I've stamped with the lasting linen. This is going to go onto that secret C layer. And place that down. I'm just going to have a small border going around it. All right, and it's going to sit onto here. At first, we're going to decorate it a little bit more, so we're going to wait with that. I've got a scrap of basic white, and we're going to stamp that flower onto there, and that's from the Simply Beautiful stamp set, this image right here. And I'm going to stamp that using my black memento. So we'll ink that up. And got a small piece of scrap paper here, so I'm trying to make sure I get all of it into it. We'll close up our black memento because we're going to use our StazOn block here in a minute. All right. And I'm going to grab my cloud cover lens. And we're going to color our flower. So I'm going to do the light cloud cover. And we'll color that in. I wonder if I could do this faster with the brush end. Probably. Guess I could have colored one ahead of time. It would have been faster, but yeah, this doesn't really take a long time to color, so I think we're okay. I think my blend is running out of ink, so I need to order another one. Cloud cover. And let me try the other tip instead. Does anybody have any plans for the weekend? Hard to believe it's here already. I don't really have any. I don't know. just our normal. We do have a camping trip planned for the end of the month, so we're excited about that. Looking forward to it. We'll be going with a couple friends. Well, two couples. It'll be our first camping trip of the season, so hopefully it goes well. All right, I'm getting there. Thank you for being patient with me. One thing about using Stampin' Blends, you don't have to be really careful. Even if you mess up, it still looks good. Makes us look professional. All right, now I'm going to come back in with the dark cloud cover, and I'm going to color a little bit of these areas for shading. And one right there. I think I've got them all. Looks like it. And I'm going to do some in the center and some dots on those stamens. Guess that's what they're called. All right. And then next we're going to die cut that. I'm going to bring my mini machine over here. Let me set that over there out of the way. And I need to grab the dies out of here. Die cut that out. This comes with 16 dies in it, so it's a pretty large die set. I'm going to use this one to cut out the flower. We're going to be using this on one of our cards yet too, our next card. Just the dies. And plates. I guess I can't really get that in the camera. And I've got some washi tape that I stuck onto my pant leg to get rid of the stickiness. So I'm going to use that to hold it down. And get this position down there so we can die cut it. I'll put one at each end to hold it in place. After all that coloring, we don't want it to shift on us and mess it up. We don't want to start over. And I'll run that through. Here's our flower. Die we'll put into a magnetic dish so we don't lose it. I'm going to place these up on dimensionals. So I'm going to grab a brand new package here and open my dimensionals. And you get, what is it, 3 sheets? 300 in a package, so that lasts a while. And come on out of there. That's 1, 2, 3. 3 sheets. Large dimensionals. And I'm going to grab plenty of those and put in the back because I don't want it sagging in the middle or sinking. I'm going to sparingly put dimensionals on the back and put a couple in the middle. All right. So these are going to go on to the bottom portion of that layer. And I'm just kind of positioning it right now. I'm not going to tack it down, but I am going to add some baker's twine. And this comes in the Baker's Twine Essentials pack. You get 5 different colors. We got crumb cake, white, black, gray granite, and berry vanilla. They're all included in that. We're going to take the black, and I'm going to make a large loopy-loo and keep that on the table so I don't have to go chasing after it. And my ribbon scissors, snip that off. And I'm going to position this underneath the flower. So I'm going to take some Scotch tape just to hold that. And I think something like this. And then next I have some vellum. Not attaching that just yet. We're going to let it sit there because we have our sentiment that we need to do yet. And I'm going to stamp that Thinking of You, which came from the Forever Florals right here. Thinking of You, Forever Florals. And I'm going to use my Stays On ink because we're stamping it onto vellum, which is a porous layer. So I'm going to ink that up with our Stays On black ink. And we'll stamp that. And you want to make sure you put the cover back on your Stays On because it will evaporate. All right. And then we're going to fussy cut that out, which I have already done. Thinking of You. Looks like I kind of bent that one. And this is going to go onto our layer. I think I should have done this a little bit different. Can I pull that down? Yeah. Doing a little rearranging here. You're out of camera a little bit. So we're going to put that there, and this is going to go at the top corner. So I'm going to put this one down first. I'm going to try not to have my glue show, so I'm going to use our fine tip glue. And I'm going to run it just along the letters there to kind of hide it. So let's put a little bit on there. I'm not doing the entire thing. I'm just putting it here and there, different spots. And make sure I'm not upside down. We'll add that. And make sure we're straight. I think that's good right there. I'll press that down, put it in place. And I'm going to put my cap on my glue so it doesn't dry up on me. All right. And now we can attach our flower. So I'm going to grab my Take Your Pick tool and use that pointy end to pop off those dimensional backings. I sure am glad my camera's working better today. I went back to my old webcam camera. So maybe there was something wrong with my newer one. I have to investigate a little bit. So my old one seems to be working okay. So we'll use it for now. All right. And then next we're going to add this to our front layer, that front tab flap. And I'm just going to put glue on this side. So I'm going to hold my finger there and not go past that. And fold that up and get it centered. I'm trying to get in the camera here. And a little bit more over to that left side. And press that down. So we have it so far. And then next, I didn't cut my inside layer, so we need to do that. It's going to be a little smaller than our normal. Let me see, what were my dimensions? The inside layer is our basic white. Now, got a scrap over here. I'm going to take that and use. Bring my paper trimmer back out here. And it's 3 inches by 3 3/4 inches. So 3 inches by 3 3/4 inches. Turn that 3 3/4. Bring that down out of my way, and we're going to stamp that. I'm going to bring that edge down a little bit, and it was a little ragged. All right, and this is going to say, keeping you in my thoughts. Let me see, that came from Prayers and Promises. Keeping you in my thoughts, holding you in my heart, remembering you in my prayers. So that was Prayers and Promises. That's it. And I'm just going to use our basic memento, or our black memento. Ink that all up. And we're going to stamp that upper center. Close that back up. And we'll attach that to the inside. And I'm going to open my card in order to put this so it's underneath this other flap. I'm going to just put it on top of there. And I got ink or glue on my fingers, so it's sticking. And I'm just going to fold this flap back over and press it down. And whoops, it moved on me. Let me see if I can. There. I was able to straighten it. Thank goodness for the liquid glue. All right, that's good. Trying to get the glue off my fingers. All right. So thinking of you. And then keeping you in my thoughts, holding you in my heart, remembering you in my prayers. We're going to add a little bling to this. So I'm going to bring out my embellishments here. We're going to be using, these are the Moody Palette Glossy Dots. And we've got the Secret Sea here we're going to use. So I'm going to grab some of those off and add to the front of our card. I'm going to start with a large one. And we're going to put one there and then a smaller one just above that on that side. And then another small one we'll put right there. I always do odd numbers, so usually threes, bunches of threes for my embellishments. All right, so there we have our second card, Thinking of You, and then our inside sentiment. So, hope you enjoyed that. All right, and then our third card, we're going to be doing some die cutting, which I have done a lot of the prep work ahead of time, so and save us some time. I'm going to show you how I clean off my stays on my stamp here. I'm going to use the Stampin' Scrub, and I have the Stampin' Mist. I'm going to spray on the wet side. And bring my stamp over here, and we're going to clean off that stays on. The longer you let it sit, the more it's going to stain your stamp. So I'm hoping I didn't let it sit too long. But it brings it all back off again. And then we do the dry side. I'm not in the camera. The dry side to dry it. And it's all better. So you could use your Simply Chamois, but that doesn't clean the stays on off very well. So you're better off with the mist, the cleaning mist, and the scrub. All right, our next card. Is this one right here, Thinking of You. And I've done a lot of the prep work, so we're just going to have to assemble the card. It's going to involve. Save a little time. And instructions. All right, Thinking of You. And on the inside, Holding You in My Heart. So I used Simply Beautiful. I used the sentiment for the stamp, but then I used the dies that go along with this, which I got out of my reach there. These are the dies. And like I said, there's 16 dies in here. So I'm going to show you which ones I used as we go. I'll make sure I don't drop any on the floor and I have to go chasing after them. All right, so I set the dies right there for now. All right. All right, I'm going to start out with one of our retiring colors, which are, let me tell you the retiring colors because you have the next catalog that we retired in because we have new ones coming out. What did I do with my list? Well, I had it, but I misplaced it again. Okay, it's Summer Splash, Shy Shamrock, Peach Pie, and Petunia Pop. There's 5 different colors. I think that's it. Okay. And Pretty in Pink was our other one. I'm going to start out with our card base, which is our Summer Splash. It measures 4 1/4 inches by 11 inches, and it's scored in the middle at 5 1/2 inches. We're going to burnish that fold line. And we're going to go this way with it. It's going to open like this. So I'm going to set that aside for a moment. And then I have our Shy Shamrock. It measures 4 inches by 5 1/4 inches. And I've embossed this too using the Lazy Daisy embossing folder. You can see what it looks like. That was 4 inches by 5 1/4 inches. And then I have another layer of the Summer Splash. And this measures 1 3/4 inches by 5 1/4 inches. But we're going to stamp our little flower image onto this before we start. And did I get that out? I don't think I got it out yet. No, I didn't. I've got the thinking of you. And this is for the inside. I'm missing a stamp here, so let me grab that. All right, it's this little flower that's at the bottom here. This one right here. Grab a black. And I want the Summer Splash ink pad. And kind of out of camera view here. I don't have a whole lot of space here. So let me scooch this up so we can see. And I'm using this image. And we're just going to stamp that all the way across the front of this. Looks like about 5 times. All right. And we'll close that up. We'll come back to that later. And we're going to bring our card back over here and our emboss layer. And I'm going to attach this first in case I need to trim any off. It's going to go across the front of that. And not quite centered, maybe a little bit lower than center. And now we can attach that to our card front. And center that. Give it a good press. All right, so far, but we're not done. We're going to start assembling everything. And I'm going to, let me go ahead and stamp this sentiment, the thinking of you. And I'm going to use just our black memento. And we're going to fussy cut that in a minute. All right, and I have die cut our pretty in pink cardstock using, these are, I'm missing one right here. This comes from the Scalloped Wishes dies, and I'm using the large scallop die. And this is what it came out to be. Very pretty. And this is going to go onto the front of our card at that left side. So I'm going to just attach that with some glue. And I'll get a little hang on here. We're going to get rid of that. I'm just going to put a little glue dot or a little glue in each of these little open or wider spaces of the lace. I don't need to go around the whole thing. And we'll attach that to this left side. And I want to make sure I've got it straight. There we are. I'm going to grab a large block to hold that down until that glue gets hold. And we'll set that aside for a moment because we're going to work on our flowers. Okay, so our pretty in pink, I die cut using this die. And also I die cut our Shy Shamrock, the same. So I've got two pretty in pink and one Shy Shamrock. And then next I cut out our flowers from all three colors. I used Shy Shamrock, Pretty in Pink, and Petunia Pop. So I used these dies for that. And then I used the leaves to cut out our Shy Shamrock, or Summer Splash, I mean. And there's two designs. And then from our Peach Pie, I cut out the center of our flowers. Oops, I'm running out of room here using this die. All right, so there's all the cutouts that I did. So we're going to start assembling these. I'm going to pick up my dies and just put them in my magnetic dish here for now. I'll put them away later. We don't want to lose them. And move these aside. All right, so I'm going to start assembling. I'm missing a flower. Where did that go? Got 3 of these. Where did my other flower go? Well, I don't need that to happen. Maybe it's stuck to something. Huh. Wasn't stuck in the folder. Missing one of the Petunia Pop ones. Did it fall on the floor? I don't see it. Well, we're going to start assembling and I may have to cut another one. I don't know where it went. Okay, so that's got that down good. Well, that's funny. All right. Let's just go ahead and attach these. I'm going to put a little dot of glue right in the center. And let's see how I want this to go. Right there looks good. And it's going to go on top of the pink one and do the green one. And I still need, I don't know where it went. Well, we're going to have to cut another one. So let's grab our Petunia Pop. And ready to go. Petunia Pop. Put a scrap in here. And bring those dies back here. And it is, I think it's this one here that we need. Yeah. So this one. And I'm going to bring my machine on. I'm just going to die cut it here on the side of me real quick. Okay. Pop that out. And we'll take these centers out. We don't need them. All right, that didn't take so long. Grab my glue and put a little dot of glue in the center. And all right. So this is going to go on to our pink. This is going to go on to the pink. Another dot of glue there. Position that onto our bottom layer. Dot of glue. Our bottom layer. And I think I've got too much glue on that one, but that's okay. It'll dry clear. All right, and then we're going to take our stamens and we're going to add those to the middle. And I've got enough glue there for both of those, so let's share the love. And right there. Okay, so we got our flowers done. You can see those. And our leaves are going to go on last. I'm going to attach these. I'm going to do a dry fit here and see where I want to put them. I'm not using any pop-ups with this. No dimensionals. They're all going to be glued directly down. So let me see. Maybe right about there. Looks good. So pull this one back up and put our glue behind it. And our middle one. And our bottom one. And I think I'm going to put that one down that way. All right. I guess I got some glue there. Didn't know I had that. And we're going to grab that stamped Thinking of You. And we're going to fussy cut that out. Let me get rid of this excess paper. Make it easier to trim around it. I'm just going to leave a small pink edge going around it. So nothing fancy. So next week I'll be back on schedule. I'll do it that Thursday, which would be what, the 16th? Yes, April 16th. So that'll put us back on schedule again. All right, and this is going to be popped up. I'm going to put some dimensionals back there, but I'm going to use my mini dimensionals. And I take your pick tool to grab those with. And I'm going to use them sparingly because I don't want it sinking in the middle or anywhere else. And that one's sticking over a little bit too far. Can I move that over a little bit? All right, and take the backings off of those. Oops, don't put it upside down. I've got a little edge of it showing here, so we're going to just snip that dimensional down a little bit there. And we're going to put that at the bottom of our stamped image there under the flowers. And then next we have our leaves. We're going to put 3 on there. I'm going to put the larger one up here and the 2 smaller ones. Position those right here next to this bottom flower. And I'm just going to put a little glue at the bottom of the leaves to hold them in place. And that came out too fast. Let's show the love here. And a little bit on this one. I said a little bit, it comes out fast. It's a new bottle. And I'm going to place that up in that upper corner. And then next we have our bling to attach. And I'm using, these are the purple fine shimmer gems. They're on the last chance. They were $8. They're marked down for $4.80 now. So we're using those today. And let me how to get in my package here. And these look like they're berry burnt or petunia pops. I'm using those. And I'm going to use all large ones, I think. Well, that's not coming off of there. Here we go. I'm going to stick them in the center of those flowers. And the third one can go, I think I'll put it right there, that corner. All right, there's the front of our card. Let's work on the inside. Our inside is our basic weight, which is 4 inches by 5 1/4 inches. I'm going to stamp our sentiment using our black memento ink, thinking of you, or it says, holding you in my heart. And that came from all right, which one was it? Got too many stamp sets out here to keep straight. I guess that was just from the Simply Beautiful, where we got the dies. All right, and we're going to stamp that upper left-hand area. And then we're going to stamp with our Summer Splash the flowers along the bottom. They're kind of cute. They're little bunches of flowers. Well, I can't really see them on there. I guess you'll see it better when I stamp them. So, scooch that up here. I'm going to stamp them all along the bottom edge. And put another one in there and squeeze another one right there to finish off the edge. Now we can add that to the inside of our card. Okay, even that up. All right. So there's our card. Thinking of you, holding you in my heart. All right, so I hope you enjoyed our cards today. And again, I apologize for yesterday's card being messed up. That bothered me. I had to come back in and do a repeat because I can't really fit these all in here. And you get the gist of it there. So I hope you enjoyed the cards today. Be sure you like and share the video. And if you're watching me on YouTube, on my YouTube channel, be sure you hit that subscribe button and the like button. And I hope you'll be returning again for next week, which will be Thursday, April 16th, 2026, at same time, same channels. So until next week, have a great weekend. And I'll see you next week. Bye-bye. Thank you.